I'm going to also, one of the things that the Asian American Performing Arts Coalition came out with a really interesting study that we posted on StageSource that had some benchmarks for last year in New York with companies about roles and about, roles for people of color and how many, and also non-traditional casting and gender. And I would love to figure out how to make something like that happen at StageSource and what companies should be included and how to gather that information. There's no personnel for that at that point, or whatever this looks like, but it could also be a Google form and a task of volunteers. But I am going to stop talking because I think that I can stop conversations and invite everybody to participate in this. We need to come up with some tasks. We need to come up with some goals. What do we want the world to look like if we do this well and do it right? How can we reframe the things that we're already doing? And again, this is a huge. Each of these topics deserves its own conversation. And at some point, we'll probably need to break them down. But right now, I think it's important to talk about them all together. So Summer, to you, my friend.
Hi. Hi. So I really want this to feel like an open conversation. So I thought about just kind of getting the ball rolling by having us each go around, say your name, because I can't see over there, and say if you are affiliated with a company or if you're an individual artist, and also say what you want out of this conversation, right? So you had the choice to be here, and you made this choice, so what do you want out of this conversation? So my name is Summer. I am a co-founder of Company One, and I'm also on the board of StageSource. And what I want out of this conversation is action. If you recall the beginning of the DIG report, I think I might be the person that Julie is quoting when this person says, I'm sick of talking about it and let's do something. So I know what I'm prepared to do. I know what we can do, and I want to hear what others are interested in doing.
Great. And just as a note, Adam is going to be taking notes, and he's typing up. And so if people want notes from this conversation, email me back. What we're going to try and do is get notes from all 6 sessions, make them available to everybody so that you can see what we missed, because again, we want action steps. But Adam is our note taker, but a participant in this conversation as well, so I just didn't want to throw that out.
So I'm Megan Sandberg-Zakian. I'm the Associate Artistic Director of Underground Railway Theater and the Director in the world. Was there anything else besides what we want out of this conversation?
That's enough.
I feel actually like I'm in a place of listening, just coming off of the TCG conference in Dallas, where I got to talk a whole lot and take some interesting action and be part of different momentums towards national action around inclusion in particular. So I think I have a lot sparking off about what Underground Railway Theater and Central Square Theater are already doing, and I'm interested to hear how that might map on to what's happening with everyone else, and just so excited to hear.
My name is Cassandra Lovering, or Cassie. I'm here as myself, representing myself. I'm new to the Boston theater community, and I'm really interested to hear the state of diversity and inclusion, and also who the people are who are really interested in spearheading the initiative, because it's something that I believe in a lot, and I'd like to align myself with those kinds of people. So, director, dramaturg, stage manager.
Welcome. Thanks. I'm Julie Henriquez, since you all know by now. I think I've made it clear. I want change.
I'm Amy West, and I'm involved with Mass Theater Experiment and also Ganymede Theater Project. I'm a Bostonian, and I grew up in the South End, which when I grew up it was very diverse, lots of different people there, and I found as I've gotten older, our world has become, white, black, economically, so I'm interested in action and diversity on all different levels and getting more people involved and coming to the theater. And does that start at, like, in the schools? Like, how do we get that? How do we get people to think, like, I want to go see a show? And I'm personally sick of going to shows and everyone in the audience is white. And I think that's really sad.
Hi, my name is Maureen Finnerty. I'm an actress and a dancer, and I'm also from BSA Arts in Massachusetts as a teaching artist and director of Movement for Access to Theater, which is part of Partners for Youth with Disabilities. I was born with part of my disability, so I've always been interested in inclusion for all. And any actions we can take to make this more inclusive society. The theater work that I do is always about inclusion and making the theater not only accessible for the people on stage, but also the people going to the theater itself.
I'm Mary Kay Elliott. I'm on the Lyric Board and a longtime fan of Lyric and other stage companies in Boston. And my interest or outcome of today would be to look at that access for audience to real live grown-up performances.
I'm Sarah Glidden, Managing Director of Lyric Stage Company. Happy to have been part of these conversations. We're really excited that our board has also embraced some of these conversations about diversity and inclusion, and looking for how we continue our path in implementing it, but also looking long-term about audience, because I think that's a really key part of the partnership.
I'm Tarina Wimbish. I'm a recent, I always get nervous when I talk. I'm a stage manager. I know, like, oh, I actually have to say something. I just relocated from San Diego here, and so this is sort of my introduction to the Boston scene. And I'm working with ART on the Proclamation Project, if anybody knows what that is. So hi, everybody, and I love being sort of the bridge between students of color and theater and getting them there. That's sort of fun. Yeah.
Hi everyone, I'm Luis Negrón. I'm one of the many actors here in the New England area. And the reason why I'm embracing this topic is because as an actor, I would love to see, more openness in casting. When we were just being led by Steve a few minutes ago, and they brought up the idea of casting and the idea that 70% of the role is how you look. Well, that made me think, do you look the part? Well, what is the look of the part? Is that look what we've always been taught is the look for that part? Can we consider other looks for that part? That's the conversation I'd like to get going, because otherwise, those of us of any kind of skin color, if you will, our options are few. I mean, Moliere, not happening. I'm never gonna, the classics, not happening. That's not a good thing for actors of color. There are roles that we'll never get to play simply because of our skin color. I have an issue with that. Okay? Not that there are not phenomenal plays written out there for people of color. Yes, there are. But that's a recent thing. Okay? We'll never get to embrace the classics. So that's why I'm interested in this conversation in a nutshell. So, thanks.